Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Bo Chen.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Van Chan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you a part of A Tale of Two Cities, Book the Third, Golden Thread.
S.
L.
A Tale of Two Cities, Book the Third, Golden Thread. Charles Dickens. Chapter 7. A Knock at the Door. Have saved him. It was not another of the dreams in which he had often come back. He was really here. And yet his wife trembled, and a vague but heavy fear was upon her. All around was so thick and dark. The people were so passionately revengeful and fitful. The innocent was so constantly put to death on vague suspicion and black malice. It was so impossible to forget that many as blameless as her husband and us, to yet others as he was to her. Every day shared the fake from which he had been clutched, that her heart could not be as lightened of its load as she felt it ought to be. The shadows of the wintry afternoon were beginning to fall, and even now the dreadful carts were rolling through the streets. Her mind pursued them, looking for him among the condemned. And then she clung closer to his real presence and trembled more. Her father, assuring her, showed a compassionate superiority to this woman's weakness, which was wonderful to see. No Gert, no Showmaking, no 105, no Oath Tower. He had accomplished the task he had set himself. His promise was redeemed. He had saved Charles. Let them all lean upon him. Their housekeeping was of a very frugal kind, not only because that was the safest way of life, involving the least offence to the people, but because they were not rich. And Charles, throughout his imprisonment, had to pay heavily for his bad food, and for his guard, and towards the living of the poor prisoners. Partly on this account, and partly to avoid a domestic spy, they kept no servant. The citizen and citizens who acted as porters at the courtyard gate rendered them occasional service, and Jerry almost totally transferred to them by Mr. Worry had become their daily retainer, and had his bed there every night. It was an ordinance of the Republic, one and indivisible, of liberty, equality, fraternity, or death, that on the door or door post of every house, the name of every inmate must be legibly inscribed in letters of a certain size, at a certain convenient height from the ground. Mr. Jerry Crunch's name, therefore, duly embellished the door post down below. And as the afternoon shadows deepened, the owner of that name himself appeared, from overlooking a painter whom Dr. Manette had employed to add to the list, though. Name of Charles Evermond, called Darnay. In the universal fear and distress that darkened the time, all the usual harmless ways of life were changed. In the doctor's little household, as in very many others, the articles of daily consumption that were wanted were purchased every evening, in small quantities and at very small shops, to avoid attracting notice, and to give as little occasion as possible for talk and envy, was the general desire. For some months past, Miss Pross and Mr. Cruncher had discharged the office of purveyors, the former carrying the money, the latter the basket. Every afternoon at about the time when the public lamps were lighted, they fared forth on this duty, and made and brought home such purchases as were needful, while the Miss Pross, through her long association with the French family, might have known as much of their language as of her own. If she had had a mind, she had no mind in that direction. Consequently, she knew no more of that nonsense, as she was pleased to call it, than Mr. Cruncher did. So her manner of marketing was to pump an noun substantive at the head of her shopkeeper without any introduction in the nature of an article, and if it happened not to be the name of the thing she wanted, to look round for that thing, lay hold of it, and hold on by it until the bargain was concluded. She always made a bargain for it by holding up, as a statement of its just price, one finger less than the merchant held up, whatever his number might be. And Mr. Cruncher, said Miss Pross, whose eyes were red with felicity. Jerry hastily professed himself at Miss Pross's service. He had worn all his stuff long ago, but nothing would file his spiky head down. There's all manner of things wanted, said Miss Pross, and we shall have a precious time of it. We want wine, among the rest. Who's he? Said Miss Pross. Mr. Horse, said Miss Pross. It doesn't need an interpreter to explain the meaning of these creatures. Art. Dear. Well. Be cautious, cried Lucy. Is. I'll be cautious, said Miss Pross. But I may say among ourselves that I do hope there will be no onany and tobacco sputterings in the firm, of embracings all round, going on in the streets. And, Ladybird, never you stir from that fire till I come back. Take care of the dear husband you have recovered, and don't move your pretty head from his shoulder as you have it now, till you see me again. I think you may take that liberty. The doctor answered, smiling. For gracious sake, don't talk about liberty. We have quite enough of that, said Miss Pross. What? Dear. N. Lucy remonstrated. Well, my sweet, said Miss Pross, nodding her head emphatically. The short and the long of it is that I am a subject of His Most Gracious Majesty King George III, Miss. Pross curtsied at the name. Viste. Cruncher. In an excess of loyalty, growlingly repeated the words after Miss Pross, like somebody at church. I am glad you have so much of the Englishman in you, though I wish you had never taken that cold in your voice, said Miss Pross, approvingly. But the question, Dr. Manette. I fear not yet. Hi-ho, said Miss Pross, shiftily repressing a sigh as she glanced at her darling's golden hair in the light of the fire. Then we must have patience and wait, that's all. We must hold up our heads and fight low, as my brother Solomon used to say. And Viste. They went at it, leaving Lucy and her husband, her father, and the child's by a by fire. Viste. Ori was expected back presently from the banking house. Miss Pross had lighted the lamp, but had put it aside in a corner, that they might enjoy the firelight undisturbed. Little Lucy sat by her grandfather with her hands clasped through his arm, and he, in a tone not rising much above a whisper, began to tell her a story of a great and powerful fairy who had opened a prison wall and let out a captive who had once done the fairy a service. All was subdued and quiet, and Lucy was more at ease than she had been. What is that? She cried, all at once. My dear, said her father, stopping in his story and laying his hand on hers. Come in yourself. What a disordered state you are in. The least thing anything startles you. As he said the word, a blow was struck upon the door. Oh, Father, Father, what can this be? Hi, Charles. My child, said the doctor, rising and laying his hand upon her shoulder. I have saved him. What weakness is this, my dear? He took the lamp in his hand, crossed the two intervening outer rooms, and opened it. A rude clattering of feet over the floor, and 4 rough men in red caps, armed with sabres and pistols, entered the room. The citizen never meant. Cold Darnay, said the first, Who seeks him? Answered Darnay. I seek him. We seek him. I know you. Evermint. I saw you before the tribunal today. The force surrounded him, where he stood with his wife and child clinging to him. It is enough that you return straight to the conciergerie, and will know tomorrow. You know him. You have said. We all know you, citizen doctor, said the other three. Will you answer his question to me then? Citizen doctor, said the first. Reluctantly. He has been denounced to the section of Saint Antoine. Of what? Asked the doctor. Citizen doctor, said the first, with his former reluctance. Ask no more. If the Republic demands sacrifices from you, without doubt you as a good patriot will be happy to make them. The Republic goes before all. The people is supreme. One word. The doctor entreated. It is against rule, answered the first. The doctor turned his eyes upon that man. Well, truly it is against rule. But he is denounced and gravely be the citizen and citizens to forge. And, said he of Saint Antoine, with a strange look, you will be answered tomorrow. To be continued.